Hi, thanks for checking out this video. I'm your Everyday Joe. Today I'm going to make another delicious and simple recipe. Pork chops with biscuits and gravy in the air fryer. Stay tuned. All right, so for this recipe, it's really simple, only a couple of ingredients we're going to be using. I've got a couple of thinly sliced pork chops. Now you can use thicker ones if you like. I happen to find these at a pretty good deal, so I'm going to be using a couple of these. Some breadcrumbs. This is just regular seasoned breadcrumbs. I added some grated cheese to it, and an egg wash. The biscuits I'm going to use, they're just a regular store-bought biscuits that I'm going to throw in along for the ride. So let's get into breading here. All right, put that aside. Take the pork chops, just get a nice egg coating in it, and go right into the breading. And you want to make sure you get the sides too. You know, get it all packed in there. I also added a little bit of cayenne pepper to the breadcrumbs just for my own taste. You don't have to add that. Again, anything I do here is optional. You don't have to follow exact. You can make it your own. All right, so now I'm going to keep a thin layer of breadcrumbs on this. If you want to double dip it, you'll get a nice thick crust. I'm going to stick with a lighter breading on this because we are going to be using a gravy. We're going to be putting over the top of it. So I'm going to take that, take the screen here. All right, and I didn't spray the screen or anything. I mean, it's probably not going to stick anyway. Okay, second one, number 2. All right, the air fryer oven is already preheated. I preheated 400 degrees for about 10 minutes just to get it equalized in there. So I'm going to get the pork chops up top here. I'm going to put them right on the top rack. Because they're so thin, I won't need to flip them or anything. If I see that they're starting to burn, I may flip them, but I don't think that's going to happen. And I'm using 4 store-bought buttermilk flaky biscuits, just the one you pop out of the tube. And I'm going to slide that underneath here. Yeah. In the time that the biscuits are cooking, the pork chops will be done. Hopefully we get everything together at one time. And while this is going, we're going to get the gravy going too. So I'm going to start it up. I'm going to bring it to about 350. And 15 minutes for now. We'll take a look at it at about 10 minutes, 12 minutes to see how things are going. I think 10 to 12 is probably where we're going to be, but we're going to let this ride out. And in the meantime, we'll get on the gravy on the stovetop. So I'll see you over there. All right, I'm just going to add 1 tablespoon of butter. I'm using my NINJA NeverStick in here. So this is the NeverStick pan. You can use the metal utensils in it. So get the butter going, and I was preheating the pan prior to starting. I'll add a little bit of olive oil in it. Okay, next I'm going to add some of this roasted garlic here. Okay, about a quarter teaspoon, a half teaspoon. This is really potent, really salty. So you want to be a little careful with that, but this is nice flavoring. Some bacon pieces, get that in there. Let's get these all coated first, because we're going to make a roux, but we're going to be flavoring everything. So get everything together. And there's 1 tablespoon of all-purpose flour. Get that in there. Okay, and we just want to make sure that we get everything combined here, that the flour is combined into almost like a paste. Okay, and yeah, you don't have to put the bacon in there first. I just chose to do that to get it heated through. All right, so now to make the sauce in there, I'm just going to add the remaining milk. So again, about a cup. Add some green onions. to that. And a little bit of onion powder too, just to give it a little bit more onion flavor. So let's get this all mixed up. Okay, as you can see, it's starting to thicken up nicely. But we want to make sure we get it to a boil. Okay, I'm going to get some fresh pepper to it. Okay, and it's starting to boil, as you can see. See the little bubbles here? So keep stirring, turn the heat down on low. All right, so we're just going to give it a little taste here, make sure we're okay. Not bad. I'm going to add a little bit more salt to it because I was lighter on the bouillon, and the bouillon is salty. So we're just going to add just a pinch, just to give it a little bit more flavor. Okay, give it a nice stir here, and it's going to keep thickening up as it cools, but don't want it super thick. Okay, so as you can see, the thickness is pretty good. It's a nice thick gravy. Perfect. So we're going to keep this on simmer or turn it off and let it just sit on the hot plate here until the pork chops are done, which I believe they only got a couple minutes left. So we're going to head back there and we'll take those out of the oven and I'll show you how the whole thing comes together and we'll give it a taste. All right, so we're going to pull that out. Let's take a look at these. Hey, come on. Hey, that one there curled. Probably should have put a slit in it. If you put a slit in it, it won't curl up on you, but that's okay. We're gonna devour it anyway. So let's put that in there on top here. We're gonna let this rest for a couple minutes, just so all the juices redistribute into the meat. And in the meantime, let's take a look at the biscuits, how we did. You know, looks like they're pretty done. Pretty done here, nice and flaky. They didn't stick. I also gave this a little pad of butter spread around there just so I could flavor the bottom of the biscuit too. So looks like we've done pretty good here. So I'm going to let this sit for a little bit, then I'll come up with the presentation and we'll give it a taste. Okay, here we have the breaded pork chops and biscuits with gravy out of the air fryer. So nice presentation there. So what I had to do is I also, because I wanted the biscuits a little bit more crispy on the bottom, so I flipped them over in the pan and ran them for about another 2 minutes in the air fry oven, just so I can get the right consistency and make sure that they're thoroughly cooked on the bottom. If you're using the grid, you probably won't have to do that because the hot air will get underneath it. I've already poured the gravy on. It's a nice, good tasting gravy. So let's get into this. Oh, but before we do that, I'm sure you guys are all wondering, well, Joe, what's going on with the pan? I mean, you scraped the hell out of it with that metal utensil. Let's take a look at it. This is the pan I use, the small NeverStick, Foodie NeverStick cookware pan. I believe this is the 8-inch pan. So you can take a look at the top camera here. As I'll move it around here so maybe you can see, try to get the light in it. So I don't see any damage at all. I mean, when I'm looking at it, it looks brand new. And I've been using these pans now for about a month, and I haven't seen any. I do see a little bit of heat discoloration on the bottom here, but that's expected with any metals on heat. I mean, you can probably buff that off with a little bit of a scouring pad or a billow pad. You can probably get that off, but that doesn't bother me as much as any damage to the inside there. The handle still holding up, doesn't get hot. Still really good cookware so far. After a month of use, no problem. I will keep you guys informed on any updates. But let's get back to the star here because I'm hungry here. So I'm just going to take a big chunk here, and you can see very juicy, cooked perfectly. And because they were so thin, they cooked quickly. So I'm going to get some of this gravy on. Mmm. Mmm. Good stuff. So let's get a little bit of the biscuit here too. That looks good. Looks like about 14-15 minutes was fine. I'm gonna soak up some of this gravy here. Oh, wish you guys could come here and join me for this dinner. But you guys are watching it and joining me through the video. So I hope you enjoyed the recipe. You enjoyed the update on the NeverStick, one of many yet to come. And if you have any comments or you have any questions or anything, go ahead and post them at the bottom. I'll leave the recipe instructions and the ingredients all down at the bottom. Also, any links for these the cookware and the air fryer or other utensils and stuff that I use that you might be interested in. And you can also check out some of the videos here on the side. So hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.